Going to your first high school party is something that you never forget, whether it was good, bad, or ugly. But my first party, it led to me sneaking out while grounded, getting way too crossfaded, only to end up hiding in a closet while the house got busted. And the worst part of it all, ending up on the hit list of a 180-pound Idahoan farm boy who wanted to break my jaw off because I got with his girlfriend. So sit back, grab some popcorn, and get ready to hear about how a simple party led to me getting way too crossfaded and almost hospitalized. But first, a word from our sponsor. Thank you, Stasis, for sponsoring this video. Living with ADHD my entire life, I've always struggled to stay focused and keep my energy levels in check. Day-to-day tasks at school and at my jobs were always a challenge for me to get through. Each day was a back and forth battle of trying to stay focused and keep my energy levels from crashing, until I found a routine with stimulants. It was a complete game changer for my productivity and focus, but as anyone who takes stimulants knows, they come with a very predictable cycle. For me, it made my afternoon crashes much worse. I would feel completely drained of energy and motivation by 3 p.m. only to not be able to sleep through the entire night and repeat the exact same thing the next day. The stimulants helped me focus, but they caused other problems, which is exactly why I started looking into how to keep my body balanced. A lot of stimulants flood your brain with dopamine, spike your cortisol levels, and cause increased stress levels. Choosing between having high performance focus or feeling like a normal person should not be a choice you have to make, and that's where Stasis comes in. Stasis is a precision formulated 2-product daily system designed by people who have a decade-plus relationship with stimulants themselves. It doesn't replace your routine, it complements it by supporting the body's natural stress levels and stress response system. Although individual results may vary, Stasis is a science-backed daytime and nighttime system built on clinically studied ingredients at clinically studied doses, and every single batch is third-party tested. The daytime formula helps reduce the stimulant roller coaster for steady focus and a balanced mood throughout the entire day, helping to ease that daily afternoon crash, and then the nighttime formula helps the body wind down at night while replenishing, restoring, and protecting. For me, having a system that actually helps support healthy dopamine levels and the body's natural stress response has been a complete game changer. I get less crash, steady focus, and actual restorative sleep. If you want to hold your stimulant routine to a higher standard and get your body's daily balance back on track, Stasis might be the solution you've been looking for. You can scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in my bio to check out and try Stasis' system for yourself. And make sure to put in the code OWEN15 for 15% off your first order. And again, a huge shout out to Stasis for sponsoring this video. And now, back to the story. In order to fully understand this story, we need to go all the way back to May 21st, 2021. This was during the second semester of my freshman year of high school, and how this story really starts is with a random school day midweek when this kid named Parker found out that his dad was going out of town. Since his dad was going out of town, he decided he was going to throw a party, and my freshman year self was extremely excited. This party was going to have all of my friends, so I knew it was going to be crazy. The only problem was, I was grounded. I was towards the end of my punishment for getting caught sneaking out from John's birthday, but since I was still grounded and I was getting in all types of trouble, I knew that my dad would not let me go to this party. So I thought about sneaking out to go to the party anyway, but I really did not want to risk my dad catching me because I knew if I got caught sneaking out while I was grounded, this would be the end of me. So I just kept getting more and more annoyed because every single day I'd go to school, my friends would constantly be talking about the party, asking me if I would go, and I kept having to stand my ground, telling them, no, I can't go, like my dad's gonna kill me. And so I keep getting asked if I'm going, I keep having to stand my ground, tell my friends I can't go. Until the night before the party came, because since I was grounded, my dad took my phone. But this wasn't too much of a problem because whenever he wasn't home, I could just go downstairs, sneak into his room, and steal my old Google Pixel that he kept in there, and he would never notice. This Google Pixel only worked in Wi-Fi, but that was all that I needed. I was texting the Alcoholics Anonymous group chat with all of my friends, and they were all talking about the party. And this is when I randomly get a text from John. And before we continue with the story, I need to make sure to clear up some details to avoid further confusion. The John you hear me talking about in this specific story is not the same John as the rest of my videos. This dude John was a grass-fed, homegrown Idahoan farm boy who I barely ever interacted with. I was not friends with him, but he was friends with some of the other people in my friend group, so I would see him every now and again. This is all besides the point though. I was texting the Alcoholics Anonymous group chat, and this is when I randomly get the notification that John is typing, and I was extremely confused by this, so I swiped out of the group chat and went to half swipe his message to see what he was saying. And this is when I see it is not John. It is his girlfriend Ava who's texting me from his account. And this wasn't crazy surprising because John and Ava were both always grounded for one thing or another. And whenever Ava was grounded, she would use John's Snapchat account, and I think she did it so that way her phone wouldn't go off in her parents' room with Snapchat notifications or something like that. I don't know. But she texted me something along the lines of, "Hey Owen, it's Ava." And I'm half swiped reading this message and she is still typing away for a long old time. So I'm wondering where this is about to go, because during the first semester prior to this, me and her had science together, and she would always be trying to touch me, take my hoodies, work with me on projects, and I would even catch her taking pictures of me. She was very much so the pick-me type. She had been with her boyfriend John for around a year at this point, I believe, but she was always trying to make moves on me, and she was always coming on to me, and I'm not gonna lie, I 1,000% entertained it because I figured she'd break up with her boyfriend, it wouldn't be a big deal. But beyond that, I was kind of just a grimy piece of shit human back then and was trying to pipe all types of people. But that's besides the point. Ava was taking forever to type out whatever she was saying, so I figured she's typing a whole paragraph and I should just go back to the group chat and wait for the message. So I do just that. I go into the Alcoholics Anonymous group chat, and right as I finish reading the messages that I missed, this is when I see Ava texted. So I go to half swipe the message Ava sent me, and this is when I see she's literally just asking if I'm going to the party, and if I am, she's asking who I'm going with. And at this point, reading this message, this is when I start to really weigh my options, because I've been entertaining this whole thing with Ava for probably the past 3-4 months, but it was nothing crazy. Now I'm seeing that she wants to go to a party with me. And at my school, there are not too many kids where I would have been scared to fight them or anything like that. This dude, John, I wanted nothing to do with him. I did not want to fight him at all. This dude was 180 pounds of pure farm boy strength and freedom. He was almost never at school, and when he was either the jolliest, nicest dude or just angry and seeming genuinely unstable. And it's just now hitting me looking at these messages that I have been going far too long entertaining his girl, and I should definitely stop this or John is genuinely going to obliterate me. But thankfully, I couldn't go to the party anyway. So I just text her and I'm like, nah, it's too risky for me to sneak out since I'm already grounded, so I'm not going to the party. And Ava is texting me all sad about me not being able to go. She's trying to convince me to go, saying we should sneak out, we can go together, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just giving her these short, emotionless responses because I'm trying to decide if piping this chick would be worth taking 180 pounds of the infuriated force of nature John would become if he found out about it. So I just keep giving these short responses, kind of trying to weigh my options until eventually I just tell her I gotta go. So I get off my phone for the night and I go to bed. The next day comes around, right? And now it's the day of the party, but it was still a Friday, so I still had to go to school. And I just remember the entire day of school, all everyone was talking about was going to the party, asking if I'm going to the party. And I just got to give them the same spiel, no, my dad will kill me, I can't go to the party, da-da-da-da-da. And this was so annoying because this was literally just over a week since Michael had died. I had just lost one of my friends. I was grounded. I was extremely depressed. I was feeling genuinely terrible, and all I wanted to do was leave the house. So I'm just super annoyed because I know this is going to be a crazy party, and the whole school day, every single person is asking me if I'm going over and over and over. And it was genuinely just torture. But eventually the school day was over, so I went home. But now I'm just sitting in my room as the hours pass thinking about this party until eventually it's nighttime. And I don't have a perfect time frame of this night, but I know somewhere around 9 o'clock is when the group chat started blowing up. Everybody starts saying that they're getting ready, asking what time everyone's showing up, what they're bringing, all types of excitement, all types of questions in the group chat. And I'm reading over these texts, and that was already enough to make me a little upset, just wishing I could go. But then a little over an hour and a half later is when I start getting all of the story notifications. I'm clicking on these stories and I'm literally just watching my friends have the time of their lives, and I cannot go. So I literally just put down my phone. So now I'm sitting in my room so annoyed that I'm grounded. I just keep telling myself if I wasn't grounded, I would go. If I wasn't grounded, I would be there right now. And I'm just super annoyed just sitting in my room. And that's when my phone starts buzzing again. And at first, I completely ignored it because I thought it was just like another story notification. I had no interest in seeing that. But then every like 5 to 10 seconds, it just kept buzzing. So I pick up my phone to see what it is. And this is when I see that John is texting me, which means that Ava is texting me. So I open it up to see what this chick Ava is talking about. And she's texting me some, hey, so me and my friend are about to walk to the party and I just figured I'd see if you wanted to go. So I go to text her like, fuck no, I can't go. I've been telling you this all week. Like, I'm super annoyed I even have to say this again. But then before I have the chance to type that out, she says something along the lines of like her and her friend are walking alone. It's almost midnight. And like, she tells me the route that they're taking. And the thing is, this area, like the area I live in, is by no means dangerous or like anything like that, but there are fairly high rates of sex trafficking and like stuff like that. So I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. You're walking that route, just the two of you? And she tells me yes. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like I was being a hero or anything like that. Like, yes, obviously I was worried about them getting trafficked, getting hurt, like something bad happening to them since they were taking a weird route and it's like around midnight at this point. But this was also the excuse I had been waiting for all night being handed to me on a golden platter. So I instantly text back and I'm like, nah, y'all can't walk that alone. Like, it's way too dangerous to be walking that route at night. Like, I'll sneak out, I'll meet up with y'all, I'll walk y'all to the party, but I got no promises that I'm gonna stay there or stay to walk you back. And now she's super excited to hear this. She starts sending me hella messages, and I'm over here telling myself, I'll walk them to the party, make sure they're good, then do my rounds, talk to the homies, maybe drink a little, maybe smoke a little, and then I'm heading out. I'm not staying there long, and by no means am I getting with Ava. I'm finally making my decision of it is not worth having to deal with John just to get with this chick who I don't even really like. But as I'm thinking about this, Ava is telling me to meet her by this water tower. Ava had a friend over and they lived in a neighborhood that was practically right next to mine. Our neighborhoods were split apart by this like industrial park, but we shared the same field, and this water tower was kind of like a midpoint between the two neighborhoods. And not only that, it was right on the bike path that led to the party. So I tell her that I'll get ready and head over to meet up with her and her friend. But once I tell her that I'm leaving, I will not have service, so I will not be able to text. And at this point, I put my phone down and I start changing my clothes to get ready to sneak out. This whole time, I'm just mad nervous. The whole time I'm getting ready, I know damn well this is a really stupid decision. I should not be doing this. If I get caught, I'm done for. But who cares? I'm going to this party. So I finish getting ready and text Ava that I am heading out right now. Then I put my phone in my pocket and start to sneak out of my house. And once I got to the street, I started dead sprinting to get out of the sight of any of my neighbors. I did not want a single person to see me and like risk them telling my dad. I did not want to get caught. So I was sprinting for a second until eventually I was out of sight from the street I was just on. So this is when I start slowing down to like a jogging pace, and like this field wasn't crazy far from where I lived, but it was still like a good little run. But eventually I showed up to the field, and at this point I get on this like dirt trail because there was this like dirt path that outlined the entirety of like this farmlands and this fields. And I was probably like just over a half a mile away from this water tower I was trying to get to. So it was going to take me a good second to actually get over to the water tower to meet up with everyone. But I wasn't complaining because this was like the best spot to be if you were sneaking out. This field was pitch black, had a dirt trail. There was no chance that any person would see you and any cops would see you. There was almost no chance of even seeing another living soul the whole time you were on this field. So I knew this was the best spot to be. So I'm running down this field for a good little while until eventually I start closing in on the water tower. And around the time I get to the water tower, the bike path is like starting to come into my sight, but I can't necessarily see it just yet. And so I'm starting to look out for Ava and her friend. But meeting up with people when you sneak out is genuinely terrifying, because normally if you see like a shadow figure standing out in like the middle of the darkness, you avoid it at all costs. But when you're meeting up with someone, you kind of just gotta pray that the shadowed figure is your friend and keep approaching them. So I get to the water tower, and at this point my eyes are peeled. I'm scanning the area looking for two shadowed figures to be standing anywhere nearby, but I see nobody. So I continue down the trail a little bit, just like looking for the two figures, until eventually a little ways down the trail I see two figures just standing fairly close together. So I figure these are my people, and I start jogging over to meet up with them. And this is when Ava turns around and is like, oh my god, it's Owen, and starts like running over to give me a hug. And at this point I'm thinking to myself that I need to send a message. I need need to send a clear message of we ain't doing nothing crazy, we ain't doing nothing tonight whatsoever. So as Ava's running over to hug me, I'm getting ready to give her a stiff arm and like maybe turn it into a side hug type of thing, you know what I'm saying? Just to like give her the vibe of we're just friends right now, right? But she fought that stiff arm like prime DK Metcalf and got in anyway. And after she hugs me, she goes off, she's like, oh yeah, by the way, this is my friend. Starts introducing me to her friend. I genuinely have no recollection of this chick besides the fact that I think she was short and blonde, but I remember absolutely nothing else about her. And after getting introduced, we start walking over to the party. It was just about a 2.5 mile walk away, so we had a bit of a trip ahead of us, especially because normally when I was sneaking out, I would run or like jog the entire distance. Since I was with Ava and her friend, we had to walk and it was gonna take much longer. And the whole entire time we're walking over here, Ava is nonstop trying to touch me, hold my hand, and like I'm realizing that I might have bit off way more than I can chew. I'm trying my hardest to send her the signal of we ain't doing nothing tonight, and she is just not picking up on it at all. So I'm just like trying to get to the party where interference can be ran, but unfortunately it was gonna be a while before we got there. We had to take a longer route to avoid like any main streets, places cops would patrol, anything like that. We had to follow this bike path a long ways past what we normally would have to get to the party just because we did not want to get caught. But eventually, we got off of the bike path and started working our way towards my high school campus because, oddly enough, this party was like less than a 1/4 mile away from my school. It was in a neighborhood directly across the street, and like they were so close they were practically next door neighbors type of thing. And so we start working our way over there, going across the park, and eventually we're like on my high school campus, working our way towards the street we need to cross. So we cross the street and go into the neighborhood. And the thing is, we did not have like an exact address of this house. We just knew like the general location of it. And so we're looking for any house that seems like it's having a party until eventually we start to hear the music. The music coming from this house was so loud that we were practically able to use echolocation to find the shit. But once we found the house, we start walking up to go open the door. And the thing is, I did not tell like 90% of my friends that I was coming to this party. This was just going to be a surprise because I knew they'd be excited to see me. So the second that we get to this door and open it up, everyone in there was so excited to turn around and see that like I made it to the party. Most of my friends had no idea I was there, so the party like genuinely stopped. I felt like I was like a celebrity guest appearance on a Disney show. It felt like time stopped for a second. Everyone turns around, starts freaking out. They're, oh, no way, you actually made it. Like the second I walk into this living room, everyone starts yelling at me, coming over. They're all drunk, crossed on something else. Like everyone here is just messed up. And they're all trying to talk to me. They keep handing me drinks. And eventually I sit on the couch to like drink and talk with everybody, but that does not last long. Cause as I'm sitting on this couch, I got 2 drinks in my hands. I'm sipping on one of them. People are trying to pass me all types of stuff. Everyone's like talking over each other. It's just a bunch of drunk rambling nonsense that I'm like trying to decipher to understand what's going on. And this is when my homeboy Gavin stumbles inside from the garage. And like, I don't think I've ever seen this dude as drunk as he was in this moment. He's got his head in the garage and he's like yelling something at someone in there until eventually he fully turns his body to like walk inside. And this is when he sees me. From this dude's reaction, you would have thought I died yesterday and rose from the dead just to come to this party. He starts freaking out. He's running at me, just yelling my name on repeat until eventually he's like, there's no way you actually came. I thought you weren't able to come. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, I wasn't supposed to come. I mean, I'm not supposed to be here, but I mean, hey, didn't want to miss the party. So Gavin's all hyped up. He starts like telling me to hang on. Like, I can't remember, but this dude was super drunk. He just literally was super excited to see me, kept telling me to hang on repeat, and then he just starts running to the other side of the house. So at this point, I'm kind of just confused. I sit back down, I'm talking to everyone in the living room, and I end up finishing one of the drinks I have and cracking open the other one. Eventually, Gavin comes back out, and he's like, bro, you gotta come with me. You gotta come with me. You gotta come, bro. You gotta come. So I start asking where, and he just starts running out to the garage. So I go to follow Gavin out to the garage, and like there was already a really good amount of people inside, but apparently everybody was in the garage because I step out there and this is when I see all of my main homies out here and they all look at me and they're like, no way, you actually pulled up. And they're all hyped up. They're all super excited because like everybody here is wasted. They're playing beer pong, taking dabs, bong rips. There's definitely some miscellaneous substances people are taking. They're all extremely messed up. And so they all all look at me, see how sober I am, and they decide I gotta play catch up. So next thing you know, I'm getting past bottles, drinks, rigs. I'm taking these massive bong rips and chasing it with a pull of some random liquor. And then I'm taking dabs, and I'm literally getting past everything that is in this function. Since I'm the most sober person here, they all wanted me to like not only match their level, but exceed it. So after smoking a good couple bowls, taking a dab, a couple of shots, this is when I get past like 3 dab pens and everyone's telling me to blinker the 3 of them at the same time. So I'm staring at these 3 pens and my lungs are already in pain from the dabs and the bong rips that I just took. And so I'm staring at this and I'm like, oh God, I'm already about to be so gone, man. Like the amount of alcohol and weed I've consumed in the past 5 minutes is enough to get me crossed as all hell for the night. But I'm staring at these 3 pens and I'm like, you know what? We partying. I'm here to do this anyway. So I grab all 3 of these pens, put them up to my mouth, and I'm trying to blinker them. But my throat is already on fire from the dabs and the bong rips. So I'm sitting here trying to blinker them, but instead, my lungs just explode into this aggressive, painful cough that I could not stop for at least 3 or so minutes. I was just sitting here trying to catch my breath, but I couldn't. Because every time I go to breathe in, I would just start coughing and coughing and coughing and coughing until eventually I look up into like the corner of the garage, and this is when I see my homeboy Ethan. And like, I did not even know that he was at this party. So I'm trying to gather the strength to like go and say what's up to him. And this is when I see that he's with my older brother's friends because like they're all in the same grade. Ethan was one of my older homeboys, but I did not know that he was friends with my brother's friends. So I go to say what's up to Ethan, but before I can even do this dude named Rocky is like, yo, wait a second, aren't you Corbin's little brother? And so I try to respond like, yeah, but before I can even finish saying that sentence, all these dudes around just start jumping up and down. They're saying like, no way, we're partying with Corbin's younger brother. Corbin's younger brother's at the, yo, Corbin's younger brother's here. Corbin's younger brother's here. So at this point, I'm feeling like the life of the party. Like I knew that I would know most of the people here, but even the ones I thought I wouldn't know too well were treating me like a celebrity or something. The people who knew my older brother instantly start reaching in their pockets, passing me pens, their drink stash that they had, all types of stuff. And at this point, I've been in the garage for a solid maybe 20-25 minutes, and I've already lost track of how much I've drank and how much I've smoked. Everything is catching up to me by the second, and I already feel like I'm on the same level as everyone else, but it did not stop there. After I was talking to Ethan and the people who knew my brother, I go to sit back down on the couch. So I go over there, sit next to Gavin. We're watching everyone play beer pong and we're kind of like just chopping it up, talking, and this dude Gavin is beyond gone. I truly don't think I've ever seen Gavin as messed up as he was at this moment. This dude's spouting some pure nonsense and we're just laughing mad hard until eventually Gavin like puts his hand on my shoulder and he's like, hey, we need to play beer pong, man. You and me, we need to play beer pong, man. We're gonna run this shit, man. We're gonna run this shit. And so I start laughing super hard because I'm looking at Gavin. I'm like, there's no way you got the coordination to like run this shit right now. But I'm like, either way, I'm down for some beer pong. So we start asking around, seeing who's got the next game, and nobody did. So we're waiting for the game to finish. That way we can play the winners. The people who won were some of the older kids who knew my brother. So me and Gavin get up to set up this game, and this dude Gavin was so drunk. Like I cannot express enough how drunk this dude was. I don't think he knew his left from his right, his straight from his gay. Like this dude was bumping into the table, spilling beer everywhere, and like he's literally just spilling all the drinks on the table while trying to fill up the cups. But eventually, we set up the game and it is time to play. So the other team starts and they instantly sink one of their shots. So I look over at Gavin and he's like, no, you got first cup, man. So I grab the cup, I chug it. This is when Gavin goes to throw. And this dude is shooting like Shaq from the free throw line. He missed both of his shots. So the other team gets the balls back, and this is where this night took a turn. Cause these dudes get the balls back and they sink both of their shots. So I'm like, damn, we both gotta drink a cup. And so I turn over to Gavin, I'm like, all right, which cup you taking? And this dude Gavin gonna look at me and be like, nah, dude, I'm way too drunk, man. I'm not. You gotta drink them both. You gotta drink them both. And I'm like, dude, what the hell you mean I gotta take them both? Have you seen the amount I've been drinking like the past 20-30 minutes? And he's like, yeah, but I can't. I'm gonna puke. I'm gonna puke. You gotta drink them. You gotta drink them. So I'm like, why the fuck are we playing beer pong then? This motherfucker is selling the game, making me drink all the cups, and he's the one who wanted to play. And the other team already got their balls back. So they're telling us to hurry up so they can throw. So I'm like, God damn it. So I chug both the cups, and then they throw them, make another one. So I got to chug that cup too. And now it's my turn to throw. But the thing is, I don't even remember how my throws went. Every minute or so, everything I drank and smoked was catching up to me more and more and more and more. All I remember from the rest of that beer pong game is me and Gavin missing our shots and these dudes turning into Prime, Clay, and Curry. And like, we're already playing the game, so I'm like looking around the garage for a type of sub because I'm like, I can't play with this dude Gavin, he ain't even playing. And so we have to finish out this game. I had to drink all 10 of the cups from this game, and we were not using beer. We were playing with like Monaco's or like Mike's Lemonade or something like that. All I know is the percentage was much higher. And after that game, I was done. I sat down on that couch and everything was hitting me like a train. I know for a fact I was out in this garage for at least another hour, but I have absolutely no recollection of it. I just remember at some point I got up to like go find a bathroom or something like that, and I'm going out to look for this bathroom. Whether or not I found the bathroom, I really do not know. But I do remember finding this random downstairs room. At this point, I thought that I'd seen everyone who was at the party, but I went down into this basement type of area, and even more of my homies were just down there chilling. So now I'm beyond fucked up. So I go down there, I'm like, yo, no way y'all are here, man. How long y'all been here? How y'all doing? Like, I start chopping it up with them. And this is when this kid who we'll call Riley starts telling me that they've been here since the start of the party. But all the people down here, they're talking like very clear, very concise. They're talking as if they are not even drunk whatsoever. So I stumble over to this beanbag and I just fall on top of it and start staring at the spinning ceiling. And I'm just like sitting here thinking about how weird it is that majority of my pillhead friends are down here instead of at the actual party. So I start asking if they're drinking, and that's when this kid named Jace starts telling me that they're tripping. So I believe that they had acid and mushrooms. I really don't remember too well though. I just remember that like 5-6 people were just in this basement tripping. But this was perfect for me. This basement was a quiet, calm vibe compared to the garage with all the yelling music and just everything going on. I was beyond crossed, mumbling and slurring all my words while just laying in this basement, kind of talking to everyone, but mostly just closing my eyes to collect my thoughts and pull myself together. But this is when all at once, the whole calm vibe is completely ruined. Cause I'm laying on this beanbag just like trying to relax, you know, I got my eyes closed, it's a good calm vibe, I'm just listening to all the conversation, when all of a sudden, I feel a human jump on top of me and like the beanbag starts moving around, there's a weight on top of me. This genuinely scared me so bad. I had my eyes closed, it's all mellow and chill, then all of a sudden I jolt up after being jumped on top of to see that Ava is laying on top of me. So at this point, I'm like, oh shit, I forgot she was even at this party. I forgot she was even at this party, because like I legit had not seen her since we stepped foot in this party. The second we got here, we split our separate ways. I did not even see her. I like literally forgot she was even at the party. And she jumps on top of me and I have no idea what she was even trying to say, because at the same moment she came down and jumped on top of me, this is when everyone in the basement starts breaking out fighting, because apparently some shrooms went missing. They're all accusing each other of stealing the mushrooms. Ava's on top of me. My vision is spinning. I have no idea what's going on. Everyone's talking at once. I can't separate what's being said. It's just a bunch of overstimulating noises, yelling, and literal weight on top of me. So now I just want to get out of here. I swear I said something like, whoa, what's going on? What's going on? I gotta go. I have no idea what I said or what I was trying to say, because like it was literally just a drunken just mumble of words just saying like, I want to leave, I gotta go. But somehow Ava perfectly understood what I meant and she was like, oh, let's go. I got somewhere quieter we can go. So she grabs my arm and starts dragging me out of the basement. Everyone is still fighting behind me. I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea where we're going. I just figured that we're going up to the living room. But once we get to the living room, she keeps going. She starts going up the stairs downstairs into this random room. And this was the most confusing experience of my life, because we get to this room and it literally has nothing in it. It is a completely empty, unfurnished bedroom without any furniture or anything. And like, I was super drunk, so I could have had like some of the details off, but I swear this room had like this mini hallway that had 2 doors randomly, and one of the doors was an unfinished bathroom that had like mad amounts of just random things piled into it. So me and her go into this other door, and I swear this room was the back rooms. Like it made no sense, because I am mad drunk. This room's layout is confusing the hell out of me, and Ava is like dragging me over to this closet, and I just remember we opened up the door and I was walking in there, and I remember feeling like Ava directly behind me, kind of like pushing me into the closet. But as I was walking, the carpet started to go upwards, like up the walls at like a 130-degree angle. It was steep as hell, and this closet was pitch black. I just remember thinking that I'm way too drunk. I'm like, oh, why am I so drunk? The floor's moving. Like, why is the floor going up? I didn't think it was actually real. I thought that it was probably normal, and I just couldn't walk because I was drunk. So I kept trying to move into this tiny closet to make a room for Ava, and I just fell straight to the ground, and my knee hit this hard object. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, what is this place? And eventually we find a light switch like outside of the door in the main room that was an overhead light to the closet. And this room just had all this random carpet going from the floors up the walls. Some of it's rolled up, some of it's not. It's literally just this mess of carpet. And then there was just this random toilet that's not even hooked up to anything, just leaned up against a wall, just like sitting there. So I'm super confused. I'm like, what type of room am I in right now? But the room was not of concern to Ava. This chick must have thought it was Arby's, because she wanted all the meat. And before we even got into this room where the closet was, I was already beyond confused, because like, from my perspective, I am crossed as all hell. Like, my recollection and like remembrance of the time frame of this party is non-existent. I would just be in a room talking to some of my friends, and then it felt like I would teleport to a completely different room where my other friends would be, and all of a sudden I'd be talking to them. I had no clue what was taking place in between these spans of times until all of a sudden Ava jumps on top of me. I forget she's even at the party. She starts ripping me like to bring me upstairs and all this different stuff, and like, I have no idea what's going on. I am one of the most just messed up people at this party, and I'm just beyond confused. I don't know what's going on. I'm in this weird closet. So we're chilling in this closet. I am extremely confused. I don't really know what's going on. The only thing I do know is that I do not care if John finds out what's about to happen, because next thing you know, me and Ava are about to get busy in this tiny like carpet toilet closet type area. But right as we're about to get down to business, this is when all of a sudden we just hear, Parker, what the fuck are you doing to my house? Don't hide, show yourself. Parker, I'm out working for the weekend and you want to take advantage of my home? It's just going on and on. We just hear this angry screaming just echoing all throughout the house. And me and Ava hear that, and we're like, oh no, what's going on? Because as we're hearing this yelling, you would have thought a stampede of animals was going through the entire downstairs at the same exact time. Which, I mean, everybody was just booking it out of this house. But for some reason, my drunk ass was like, oh nah, man, we gotta hide. Like, I'm literally hearing every single run out of the house. Everybody's in panic. The person who just came into the house is screaming, looking for Parker, trying to find him anywhere. And I'm literally just trying to hide out in this closet. For some reason, I'm thinking that this dude is like gonna call the cops. We're gonna get arrested. They're gonna take like, I'm thinking something bad is about to happen and that I can't be spotted by the guy who just came into the house. And I am beyond wasted. So Ava's sitting here and she's like, wait, hang on. I'm gonna go check. I'm gonna go see what's going on. I'll see what's going on. You just stay here. And then she like opens the door, closes me in the closet, and then she just starts leaving to go downstairs to like check what's going on. So she closes me in with like all the carpet. And so I'm just sitting here like, oh, good God, what's going on? So I'm just chilling in this closet, waiting for Ava to come back up. And it sounds like the body cam footage to a domestic violence case is going on downstairs. Stuff is banging all around. This dude is just yelling, screaming. People are running all around. There is so much noise and I can't see what's going on. I'm just waiting for Ava to come back up, but she doesn't. I'm just hearing this angry ass dude banging all around the house, just yelling nonstop like, Parker, where are you? Parker, you better show yourself right fucking now. Like, he's going all around. This dude is hunting Parker. And so I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh good God, what's happening out there? Like, it sounds like it's a genuine crime murder scene out there. And I'm just sitting in this closet all alone until eventually I hear like the dad or whoever it was finds Parker. And so they start going all around. He's yelling at Parker being like, I want all this alcohol out of my house. I want all this stuff out, like da-da-da-da-da. Parker's trying to apologize. He's trying to like plead his case. He knows his life was over. And like at this point, I've been alone in this closet for at least 5 to 7 minutes. And I have no idea what's going on until all of a sudden I start hearing footsteps move up the stairs. The voices are getting closer and closer to me. And I remember hearing this dude screaming and like he kept saying he wants the alcohol out of the house, nothing staying. And like I'm just sitting in this closet like, oh God, how did this happen so quick? How did this happen so quick? And Parker's still out here just like pleading his case, nonstop apologizing. And this is when all of a sudden like I'm frozen in this closet, just like eavesdropping, trying to figure out what I should do. And this is when my phone starts blowing up. And like I must have gotten the Wi-Fi password to the house when I was in the garage or something. I do not remember getting the Wi-Fi password or like why I would have needed it, but it is a good thing I had it because Ava is blowing up my phone. The Alcoholics Anonymous group chat is blowing up as well. And for some reason, in my drunken panic, I completely just ignore Ava and what she's saying, and I just send an SOS message to the Alcoholics Anonymous group chat. Or I mean, at least I thought I did. But instead of sending a message saying something like, yo, I'm in the closet right now, the dad and Parker are outside, come help me, like I don't know what's going on, I'm stuck in the closet. Literally, like I thought that's what I sent these people. The only message I send to the group chat is, IDK, I'm in a closet. No details, no nothing, just a statement of I'm in a closet. No sense of like, this is a panic, you know what I'm saying? I need to be saved. Nothing like that. I just say, yeah, I'm in a closet, just randomly. And everyone's in a panic. And since Parker got caught, everyone is leaving this group chat to delete their prior messages and anything incriminating. And out of some genuine miracle, I actually found a screenshot of this exact message. I genuinely have no idea how I managed to find this or how I still have the screenshot of this, but like here's the date for everything too, but that is besides the point. Everybody in this group chat is in a complete panic. They're leaving the group chat. They're all texting, freaking out. No one knows what's going on. It's about 3 a.m. and I only know this because of that screenshot. And this is when Ava starts calling me on repeat, calling my Snapchat. So finally I answer and she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm waiting in the closet. Like, what was good? What's going on? And she's like, why the hell are you still in the closet? You need to leave. Get out of there. Like, you gotta go, go, go. So this is when it hits me that there is genuinely no reason for me to just be posted up in this closet. So I hang up the phone without even responding to what she said. I slowly open the closet door and start slowly creeping like out of the room towards the hallway. Like I'm on a stealth mission right now. I feel like I'm some type of spy. I need to get past here without being seen. And this dude Parker is right at the top of the stairs talking to his dad. So I see that and I'm like, oh, damn, no, there's no way I can get past him without being seen. They're gonna see me. I just gotta go. I just gotta go. I just gotta go. So I initiate my drunken launch control, go 0 to 60 flying past these two, stumbling down the stairs and like just running throughout the house, trying to find the front door to go outside. And eventually I find the front door, so I sprint outside. And at this point, I'm like thinking that he called the cops. I don't know what's going on, but I know that this is a bad situation and I need to go. I need to get out of here right now. So I go to sprint out this front door, and once I reach the front steps of the door, I just take an Olympic long jump type of leap straight into the middle of the yard. I'm tripping, stumbling, falling all around. I can barely stay up. My coordination is nowhere to be found, but I'm sprinting as fast as I physically can. I run across the front yard and just start booking it through this neighborhood. I have no idea where I'm going, but I just know I'm going away from this house because like I think the cops are on the way, something like that. I just know it's a bad situation. But as I'm running in my complete panic state, this is when I hear in the complete opposite direction of where I was running, all of my friends are just yelling like, yo, Owen, what are you doing? Where are you going? Like they're all laughing their asses off because like I literally just look like a drunk piece of shit just running out of the, which I mean I was a drunk piece of shit, but I'm sprinting as fast as I can in a total panic. But everyone else was congregated across the street, like literally just in front of the house. They're all chilling, chopping it up. They don't have a care in the world. So I see that and it kind of like eases my panic. So I switch my direction. I jog over to where everyone is and they're all like, I can't believe this just happened. Parker's gonna be done for. He's gonna have to transfer schools. Like everyone knows that Parker is cooked. They're all just talking about this crazy shit while we're all kind of just like dapping each other up, saying goodbye. And this is when we all start walking our separate ways. And this is when Ava tells me that she got 3 cases of something. I have no recollection of what she got. I'm pretty sure she got some type of seltzer drinks. I'm really not sure though, but my drunk ass did not care. I was so happy to see see that she managed to grab some stuff from the party because I heard all the alcohol had to go and I knew I wasn't going to be able to grab it. So I was like, oh, you got to give me one. You got to give me one of those. Give me one of those. So she gives me one and we start walking back the same way we came from, just sipping on our drinks, walking and talking. So we cross the street and start walking towards this path that's by my school. But once we got to like around my school campus, things took a turn for the worse because we're walking down this path and this path was so close to my school campus that it was practically touching the fences of my school. And I have no idea what exactly we were talking about, what was said, or anything leading up to what happened. But next thing you know, me and Ava are hopping the fence to get into my school campus's fields, and we just start going at it behind this like shed, the like kind of storage type place. And keep in mind, her friend is quite literally 15 feet away from us on this path, and we literally just hopped the fence, left her over there, and me and Ava are getting busy in the school's fields at like 3:30 in the morning. And this was genuinely just like a completely impulsive thing. I have no idea why we went to do this, especially because I told myself this was not going to happen. But here I am, a lot of drinks and a lot of weed later, not even thinking about John finding out. But eventually, we finish banging it out on this field, and we're kind of just laying here on the grass, looking up at the sky, until randomly, we hear the sprinklers start to turn on, and they start spraying like right next to us. And like, my processing skills were not there whatsoever. Ever since we left the party and like I found out that everything was good, there were no cops, nothing like that. Everything was just sunshine and rainbows to me. Like, I'm having a good ass time. I'm all happy staring up at the sky till all of a sudden those sprinklers come on and my drunk ass is like struggling to put my pants on. I'm trying to get dressed and like literally at the same time while running towards this fence to hop back out of campus. But we get to the fence, we hop over it, meet up with Ava's friend, and we just start walking down the path. And at this point, I'm having the time of my life. Like, I am so glad I snuck out to the party. This was fun as hell. So I start like grabbing these seltzers. I'm downing them the whole walk home until we start to get fairly close to where we're all going to start to part ways. And at this point, I go to take another big old sip of whatever drink I had. And this is when I realized that I should have probably stopped drinking when we left the party because I have to sneak back into my house. So I stopped drinking and keep walking down this path until I realize I'm still drinking the drink that I have in my hand. So I pour it out, the whole entire thing on the path, just to make sure that I'm not on autopilot, just still sipping on it. And right around the time we do that is when we get to the water tower. So we start to part our separate ways and I start running down the dirt trail. I'm trying to hype myself up. I'm trying to convince myself that I'm like sober enough to sneak back in. I am trying so hard to just lock in. I know that I need much more cognitive function than I currently have in order to sneak in without getting caught, so I'm not even jogging. I am running as fast as I can down this trail, just trying to sober up, until eventually I reach the section of the field that allows me to get to my neighborhood streets. So I go onto the streets of my neighborhood, start running the rest of the way home, until eventually I get to the fence that I need to hop in order to sneak back in. So I hop the fence and like, I somehow flawlessly snuck into the house. I was definitely louder than normal, but I got in without getting caught, and that is all that matters. So then I went to my room, started texting some people to let them know that I got home, and I just remember thinking about how glad I was that I went to the party instead of staying home. I was thinking about this the whole way up to falling asleep, and you might be thinking that this is where the story ends. But unfortunately, you would be wrong, because after the weekend passes and it's time to go back to school, I pull up to school, and the second I find my homeboys and go to talk to them, they look at me like they're scared for my lives. They're looking at me like they just found out that there is a bounty on me, a hit on me, like my life is about to be over. So they start speed walking over to me, and they're looking around all crazy. So I'm sitting here just like mad confused until one of them is like, dude, you're done for, man. No, like you're genuinely done for, man. You should go home. So I'm like mad confused. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck you mean go home? And these dudes are looking all around. They got this paranoid look in their eye. Their head's on a swivel. They're acting like someone's about to materialize out of thin air and slime all of us out. And so they eventually look at me, like meet my eye contact, and all that they're gonna say, dead serious, is just, John knows about you and Ava, dude. And this instantly made me terrified because all of my friends are looking around like this dude John is the Grim Reaper, about to pull up out of nowhere and obliterate me. And that wasn't far off from what I was expecting to happen. And like, I don't really know how John found out. What I assume happened here is people at the party saw me and Ava go upstairs, assuming that we were banging or doing something, so somebody told John. When in reality, that did not happen at all. Well, I mean, at least the way they thought it did, because we were banging in the field. But there's no way anyone would have actually seen us in the field or see this happen. But either way, I'm sitting here mad nervous, because I'm like, there's no way this dude John isn't here today. Oh, from the way everyone's acting, John has to be at school. I'm so cooked. I'm super annoyed with myself because I'm like, I literally told myself I wasn't going to do this. I told myself this wasn't going to happen. Why did I make oh my gosh, literally every single decision we made was the worst thing we could have possibly done. If we didn't go up to that closet, nobody would have suspected a thing. There's no way anyone actually saw us at the field. This has to, oh no, I'm literally panicking so bad. But the thing is, as I mentioned at the start of the video, John was not as good of friends with my friends like I was, because I never in a million years would have expected what happened next. Because I find out that John knows literally first thing in the morning. So now I have the whole school day ahead of me, and like my anxiety is just getting worse and worse. I'm going class to class, just waiting for the boogeyman to pop out and come and get me. But he doesn't. And eventually lunch rolls around. And by this point, my anxiety, my paranoia, it just keeps going higher and higher. I'm thinking that something is probably going to go down on lunch, and I'm not looking forward to it. But either way, I start walking to Maverick. I'm with maybe 3 to 4 other of my friends, but as we get closer and closer to Maverick, we start to see that everybody is outside. So I'm thinking, this is probably where it's about to go down. I'm gonna have to fight John. I'm gonna have to get my ass kicked. This is not gonna go good. But as I get closer to the gas station, Gavin and a couple others from the party see me and start running over to me. And once they're close enough, Gavin just starts saying over and over again, being like, dude, you are so lucky. You're so lucky. You are so lucky, dude. You are, oh my gosh, you have no idea. And so now, I'm even more confused as to what's going on, because I thought the boogeyman was after me, and like there's no situation where luck is on my side right now. So I just start asking what's going on. And that's when this kid named Anthony just starts being like, no, dude, just come over here, look at this. So we start walking behind Maverick, and like behind Maverick, there was these little storage garages that belonged to the apartment complex that was right behind the gas station. So we're walking on the back side of these garages. This is when I see the siding on the back side of these garages. It is all types of messed up. There are broken pieces. There are these big divots, holes, scratches. Like there is a good 3 to 5 foot section, like radius of the back side of this wall that is just in ruins, destroyed. So I'm looking at that and I'm like, was this dude John like throwing rocks at the siding? Because like there's rocks that coat the entire backside of Maverick. So I'm thinking this dude John was throwing rocks at it or something, like all pissed, because the siding's made out of like this really hard plasticky type of stuff. And so I'm thinking this dude's throwing rocks. And so I ask if that's what's going on. And that's when they're all like, oh, no, dude, no. He was punching this shit for like 10 straight minutes just this morning. And if it wasn't for us, he probably would have done that to you too. So now I'm like, oh, whoa. What did you tell him? Like, what did you just tell John? Because normally I'm the guy who like came up with the plans or the excuses, like the lies that needed to be said if we need to get out of a situation. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, what did these dudes tell John to like get me out of this? Because in my mind, there is not a single thing that you could say to instantly get this dude off of me. And he's nowhere to be found, and apparently left school because he did not want to harm me. And so now I'm sitting here and I'm like, what is going on? What's going on? And I asked him this. These dudes are going to start to tell me what they told John. Apparently, he came to school. He already knew what happened. So he kept asking people all around. He kept going around tracking people down, being like, where's Owen at? Where's Owen at? He was searching for me the whole entire morning, but nobody knew where I was. So instead, he started looking for people from the party. Like he was on his detective shit, tracking down every person from the party so that way they could find me. But the thing is, all of these people that John is like hunting down to question about the party happen to be my closest homies. All the people at this party are like my best friends. They're ready to lie for me at any given moment. So when John starts to ask them if I piped Ava, every single one of these dudes was like, nah, dude, this is not on Owen. Owen didn't do a thing. Owen did nothing. He was the most fucked up person there. Like Ava, she wasn't even really drinking. If anything, you could say that she raped Owen. And like, I am so dead ass when I say that every single one of these dudes told John that his girlfriend raped me because I was too cross to give consent, which I mean, like, technically the details weren't weren't wrong. Ava wasn't really drinking or anything, and I was like a 13 out of 10 crossfaded, but regardless of that being true or not, she very obviously did not rape me. So now I have these false allegations on my name, but they did get John off of me. So now I'm like staring at these holes on the siding, and like I was pretty pissed that this, of all things, is the story they came up with to tell John, but I'm looking at this wall and I couldn't even be mad because that would have been me. So instead of asking them like the thought process behind this, I just thanked them and started walking towards everyone else. But thankfully, the information of me being like quote unquote like graped or whatever stayed in our friend group because I genuinely thought that this was about to get blown way out of proportion. I thought this was about to turn into a big old thing like that could potentially make Ava look really bad, ruin her life, and like I was in a really, really weird position with this because like 8 to 12 witnesses said that I was graped. So when I told this like other people in the group who weren't at the party that this didn't actually happen, I start telling them the actual details. Some of them did not believe me because of how many witness accounts told them that I got raped by the girl. So this is like this genuinely could have been such a bad situation, and I'm still like shocked and in disbelief that this didn't like somehow spiral into something much worse, because any other day this would have been the talk of the school. Every single person would have found out same day of these events, but somehow it did not make its way around this school. But let this be a lesson to y'all that when you go to your first party, be prepared for anything and stay away from other people's girlfriends. Thank you all so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope y'all enjoyed this story. Unfortunately, after I finished editing the video and I rewatched the whole thing, I realized that a good amount of details were missing that would make the story just flow better and overall make more sense. The reason the details got cut was because I thought that the initial build up to the party was too long. I kind of wanted to speed through it because I thought it would lose the interest of some viewers. Some people would be clicking off because the build up was a little bit too long. So if y'all want like an extended cut or like a revised version of the video with every single detail, let me know down in the comments. I don't feel like the details that are missing will affect the average viewing experience like it does for me. I notice everything because obviously I was there, but this is exactly why I never cut details from any of my stories. But if y'all want a revised version or if you have any questions about the story, let me know down in the comments. It's nothing like crazy, like, you know what I'm saying, like a big old event to the story, but I just feel like cutting details makes you lose sense of some parts of the story. I just feel like telling stories, you shouldn't cut any details because it's kind of like a form of lying. It makes stuff just seem like it makes less sense and just like blah, 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 whole thing, you know what I'm saying? But if y'all do want every single detail for the story, let me know and I can make a revised version and just like, you know, an extended cut to a certain extent. But that's all besides the point. I hope y'all enjoying the content. I have a lot of stuff coming up on both this channel and my second channel, which if y'all don't know, we do officially have a second channel. I will have this linked down in the description below the stasis link for any of y'all who are interested in that. But I hope y'all are enjoying the content and I will see y'all in the next video.